Got your mics on? Okay. Welcome, everybody. We're pleased to welcome everybody here today. It is April 18, 2023. Meeting begins at 3 o'clock. We're in the Uintah County Chamber of Commissions room. We want to remind everybody that you do need to sign in back there, if you would, please. And we'll start off with a prayer with Becky Richards and a pledge from Tegan Troutner. Amen. Thanks, Becky.
Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tegan. All right. Approval of the minutes of the April 10th, 2023 work session and April 11th, 2023 meeting.
I've reviewed those. I've reviewed those minutes, and I would make a motion that we approve the minutes from the April 10th, 2023 work session and the April 11th, 2023 commission meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Report of warrants, Mike Wilkins.
Commissioners, I have warrants from April 13th, amount of $710,958.32. Only big one there was the monthly health insurance. Everything else was pretty much the same. There was a payment to Jubb Engineers, pass-through of a federal grant on the Central Canal. Other than that, everything looked up about the same.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Tax matters, Mike.
Commissioners, we have our 2023 Uintah County exempt properties now. These are properties owned by churches and American Legion and things like that. I spoke to you a couple of days ago at the Uintah Basin Assistance Council. It's finally able to get them to get some paperwork in, so we have them on there. So everything is the same except for two new ones. One of them is the Educational Media Foundation. This is on personal property. This is a radio tower on one of the ridges. I'm not sure exactly which one. They've filled out the papers correctly on that one. Also, Northeastern Utah Friends Against Family Violence. They have purchased, from my understanding, it's the old mortuary down on 5th South, and they're providing assistance to family violence. Families have been affected by violence. And those are the only two new ones.
Sorry. Are they a 501c3 or they're under an umbrella? Of
They're under
someone?
a 501c3. From the paperwork we've received, they've dotted their I's and everything's there. We've gone over these with the county assessor, and she agrees with these, and now it's up to you guys. And we did send you an earlier copy of them.
Yeah, I did review that. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you. Any questions, concerns, or motions?
I'd make a motion to approve those tax-exempt properties presented by Mr. Wilkins.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Any other tax matters we have? All right.
I'll have to sign
Oh,
it.
well, okay. OCTANE addictions. Fair contract, Melanie Silcox.
Has nothing to do with opioid addiction.
Melanie Silcox, Western Park, no opioid addiction. As seeking approval for OCTANE Addictions for the Saturday night performance, August 19th at Uintah County Fair. It's a motocross freestyle program in the amount of $25,000. John Sturmer has reviewed the contract. He did make an addendum for the paragraph that we discussed yesterday in the meeting. And it has been signed by Tyler Johnson, the promoter.
Good.
Good. Any other questions, comments, motions?
No, I think just a comment to the change that was made was that it stated in there that the contractor could get out of the contract, and we wanted to make it under certain circumstances they can get out of the contract. So that's what we amended, and they agreed to that.
Yes.
Nope, I would make a
Yeah,
motion
okay.
that we approve the Octane Addictions 2023 County Fair contract as presented.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passed. Thank you, Melanie. Just a second, I'll sign it. You can get out of here if you want, or really want to stick around.
All three of us, just,
Well, for signing the contract, no, but on the other,
Okay, I don't need, oh, I do right there.
okay.
Oh, we got you one more here.
and then Mel, can you just make sure Ty gets a copy of those contracts?
Mike, okay.
Thank you.
All righty. Weed control contract extension with the BLM, Nate Belliston.
Okay. Excuse me. All that wind out there's got my hay fever going. Why am I a weed guy? I don't know. Nate Belliston with the weed department. Okay, so what this is that we have before you is just a contract modification for the current year for our BLM weed control contract, where we just take care of all the weed control for the BLM lands within the county. This is an ongoing contract from April of 2020 and goes until April of 2024. And this current contract is for $35,000 for this year's work.
How was
So-
it different than last year's?
No, we've gotten these things done enough now that we've got it pretty well dialed into $35,000 is what we can do, and we are right on the money almost every year, so.
Cool, good job.
Well, that's worked out well, and I think it's been a pretty good contract since I've been here. I don't know
Right,
when it
I think you
started.
signed one of the first ones.
Yeah, and stuff, and so it's been a great deal. And any other questions? Motions?
I'd make a motion to accept the contract with BLM for the weed control to take place.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passed. Nate, thank you. Sheriff Labrum, UBTECH security contract with the Sheriff's Office.
Sheriff Labrum. So this is a contract that we've held since 2021 with UBTECH for a school resource officer there for security. President Waite wanted to have an addendum to that contract that we would approve for 3 years, and that contract would be $90,000 a year for the 2023-24 year, 24-25 year, and 25-26 year, with an option to renegotiate if we would like to, if either party would like to. John's reviewed it.
Does it allow for any increase in that contract if, like, salaries went up, if,
Yeah.
hourly rates went up or
Yeah,
anything like that?
we talked about that, and that's why we put that little clause in there. With negotiation, we could change it if we need to.
Okay.
Any other comments? Motions?
I
Just
would
need
make a motion.
Just need your signature on it if they approve
Okay.
it.
I would make a motion that we approve the UBTECH security contract with the Sheriff's Office in the amount of $90,000 a year from 2023 through 2026.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. And we sign that. Okay, then make a copy for Mike too, I think you had. All right, thank you. All right, it's time for public comments. We are going to take public comments today. We're going to allow 3 minutes per person and up to 10 minutes. So if we'd have any public comments, come forth. Okay? Okay.
I feel like 10 minutes is not, it's so quick, I can't let you get out of here in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Travis Campbell, Uintah County Economic Development. I just wanted to share good news I read this morning. Even though it's out of California, it impacts us as one of typically the leading natural gas producer in Utah. So the Ninth Circuit out of California ruled in favor of I think it's the California Restaurants Association, that cities can't ban natural gas appliances. So they were trying to ban gas stoves in Berkeley, and that was ruled in favor for the Restaurant Association, citing federal law that you can't favor one form of energy over another. So for us, that's good news. I think for everybody, it's good news. So there's some good news for the day.
Well, good.
Thank you. We
Thank
did
you.
that.
And I only took about a minute, so
You did
we'll still
awesome.
get out quick. So thanks.
Well, thank you, Travis. Any others?
Hi, my name is Renee Durant. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Renee Durant? Okay.
I am here on behalf of people that are concerned about what the drag queen library thing. So a lot of people are not approving of it. We would like to know where that money's coming from, if the taxpayers are paying for it, for one.
Do they charge to rent the library?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking? And
They have to pay to rent the room.
to rent the room, and where they're getting their money to pay for the room, I don't know.
Okay, we would like to really find out where it is
Yeah.
coming from
Yeah.
and who is approving it,
For them to pay the money to us,
to use the library. Because that is a public building.
well, maybe, John, do you want to take this, or do you want to, how do you want to?
There's a lot of concern over it.
Oh, there's a lot of concern with us, and stuff.
Yeah.
I can.
Go ahead, John.
Hold on,
Wait.
hold on. You can't speak out of turn. You got to be up at a
Yeah.
mic.
Yeah, you'll be asked to leave if you,
Okay, so as a government entity and with a space in the library that allows the reservation of certain rooms for any community group that wants to come in, Uintah County, under the U.S. Constitution and the First Amendment, we are not able to regulate the content of speech that is done in those rooms. We can regulate time, place, and when you use the word manner, it would be like if somebody wanted to go into the library but use a bullhorn to, say something. Well, of course, you can't have that loud of an event in a library, so we could regulate the decibel level of an event in the library. But we're not able to regulate the content of the speech. So we had an individual of I think a few weeks ago that rented one of the spaces because they were doing a petition signature gathering to try and get the new flag design on the next available ballot. That failed, but he had every right to rent that room and say his piece according to what his message was. We have gun and knife shows that rent different areas. We have concerts that are performed with religious themed songs. We don't regulate that content. We have book signing events. We don't get a copy of the book beforehand to preview the book to see if it's acceptable to, the community, or they just rent the space. So our understanding is that all process and procedure was followed for this event. They reserved the room correctly. And where we do not regulate and actually cannot regulate the content of speech, the event will go forward, and that's kind of the end of the matter.
it's
Okay.
by any way, shape, or form, I think I can speak for the commission, we're not endorsing it. We're not,
Well, I know
Agreeance
St. George
with it.
banned it from them,
What's
their
that?
state.
what was that, I'm sorry?
St. George banned it.
Yeah, and,
And some of the books that they have is sexually explicit.
yeah,
So that right there is not good for children.
no, I
And
sure agree.
It should be stopped.
Yeah, so,
There is a lot of concerns.
Well, ma'am, then we need to stop your free speech right now. Because your speech is offensive to at least somebody in this community. So,
Yeah, but we all,
the
yeah.
county. Sir, sit down, please.
Sit down or we'll ask you to leave.
Sit down, sir. Thank you. The county will uphold all constitutional rights of all residents, and that's the end of it.
And then I also heard that a person wanted to do a flag expedition there, and they were denied.
We couldn't answer that, that never come forth to us that I am aware of.
Well.
And stuff like, well,
Well,
So let me get that cleared up. Because I was part of that. I think that when they went to ask at the library if they could use the library, they wanted to be outside. Sam was out of town at the time. Sam was also out of town at the time that they reserved the room for the drag queen show. So I think they didn't allow the flag referendum to be there because they wanted to be outside instead of reserving a room. And he wasn't there to do the logistics, and because I was upset about that also, that they denied them to do that. But I think it had to do with being in a room rather than outside of the room. So that's, state your name. I'm Pam Clinch.
Thank you.
thank you, Pam. And we appreciate you coming in and voicing your concerns, and it's a valid concern. I thank you, for standing up for this
Yeah,
type
there's
of
gonna be
stuff.
more. Thank
And
you.
appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Jerry Meekum. I came here to speak on this drag queen deal coming in here. I don't think it should be able to come into a county library, regardless what he says about the First Amendment. I don't think they should be able to come in here and groom our kids. End of story. That is one thing that they're trying to do. They're trying to groom our kids into their way of thinking. Even in the Bible, if you read in some verses right there, it says this is against the laws of any Bible. And the thing about it is, you, and the guy that told me I was kind of wrong there, maybe he's wrong, but the thing about it is, we all need to stand up to this and put a stop to it. We don't need them grooming our kids. It's already happening too much in this United States that we're losing.
Well, I appreciate your comment, and thank you for coming in.
Are we gonna do anything about it?
We got time for a couple more minutes left.
Oh, sorry, Lori.
Oh, yeah.
We'll need you to say that in the mic, please, so we can have it on the recording.
That's fine, that's fine. Okay, I'm a grandmother of 11 grandchildren, and I'm raising 2 of them. And they go to school with, all these kids, and the kids that are going to be going to this venue, they're different age groups, I'm sure, and they go to the schools here too. And kids talk. We try to keep that out of our home. I had a judge tell me, if you want custody of these boys, protect them at all cost. Well, that's what I'm doing. We try to keep that kind of stuff out of our home. We try to make everything, moralistically right. When these kids go back to school and they all start talking, mine are going to come home with questions, and I don't want to be forced to have to answer those questions. They shouldn't have the right to cram that down my throat and my kids' throats. And I'm just not accepting of this. My husband's not. I know all of our family's not. The parents of my grandchildren are not. And, this is just wrong. We've had, like he said, we've had our rights trampled on so much that I can't accept this. It's vulgar. If you've ever seen the pictures on, TV and you've seen them on the internet, they've got body parts hanging out. I mean, I don't want my grandson going, why does that guy have a sieve? And, or that girl, why is that man wearing a dress? I don't want that question to come up in my house. It would just absolutely floor me to have to answer that question.
Well, just one note along with this also is, we will not allow anything to be done there illegally or that endangers the safety. You know, if it was something like we talked about, lighting fireworks off in a place that wasn't safe.
Yeah.
We can't allow that. So if it's anything illegal or unsafe, that would not be allowed.
In other states, you know, and we watch the news, and we, you know, we're pretty glued on that nowadays. Everybody is, and they're actually showing, you know, oh, these story times. Well, now they're prosecuting some of them for fondling kids, talking dirty to them when nobody's looking. You know, that stuff's starting to come out of the wash now, and we're concerned about that. You know, what's going to happen over there? Is somebody going to be monitoring that and standing by, you know? And I hope you are. You know, it's just, like I said, I can't accept it. My family can't accept it. You know, and I know there's other parents. I've spoken with a whole bunch on social media and all over Vernal that are just absolutely disgusted by it. I'm done.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being a concerned citizen, and I admire you for raising your grandkids and appreciate you standing up for stuff, so we appreciate that, ma'am. And that has been our 10 minutes are up, I think, isn't it? Anybody else?
We know her.
Susan Horrocks, Library Board member. To address your questions, if you have a pencil or I can talk to you afterwards, lfall79@gmail.com can answer your questions of the First Lady. Second off, we're having a meeting not this Friday, but next Friday, the 28th, 9 a.m. at the library. Please come, everyone, and everything that you've said here, please speak about it there. Okay? Thank you.
All righty. Thank you. Kind of over our time allotment that we had, is unless somebody else is wanting to make comment, we'll go ahead and I'll look for an motion to be adjourned.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned.